What's up everybody, I'm Brian from I Want Tesla, and today I'm heading back up to Ohio to get my daughter. It's a 1,000-mile trip in the Model Y with my brand new lightweight 21-inch wheels from Signature Wheel. These are wonderful wheels with the same size tires as what you would get from the factory, except it's a square setup. So I want to see if there's a difference with super lightweight wheels, a narrower setup than in the rear, or it's an efficiency run. Come join me. Now it's gonna be a little different than before. It was nice clear skies. It rained off and on by just drizzling as I drove up and back. It was cold on the way back when I left Ohio, but today it's going to be raining. It's been raining for pretty much a week now in North Carolina. So there's gonna be some off and on rain. I'm leaving a little bit later because I'm kind of going in between two little areas of the storm. It's kind of broken up. Hopefully I miss a lot of the rain until I get into West Virginia and the mountains so we get better efficiency, because rain does affect efficiency. So if we get the same watt hour per mile and it's raining, then these wheels are very, very good. I'm gonna get in the car here and we're gonna head out to Ohio. It's gonna be like a 9-hour drive or something like that with charging. I gotta stop 3 times on 77 and pay a bunch of tolls. So I've reset the trip computer and we are taking off right now. All right, so I gotta jump in this video right now and say this video was kind of a fail as far as what I planned to do. I planned to make the exact same trip, which I did make the exact same trip. It's just weather did not cooperate. Rain, as everyone knows, it causes more road resistance because you have water there and you're trying to drive over it. It just takes a lot more force to travel the same distance. The only section that was really good was on the trip back this time from Cambridge, Ohio to Charleston, West Virginia. There was great weather, not much wind. We were going through the mountains. From Cambridge, Ohio to Charleston, West Virginia, we averaged 351 watt hours per mile. That was with my daughter and her luggage in the car on the way back. On the way back with just me in the car, beautiful weather, we averaged 349 watt hours per mile. So pretty much the same exact thing. So my really concern about this trip was, are these wheels any better on long range distances? And the answer is no, they're the same. You know, I thought there might be a little bit of difference because of the wider wheels on the back than in the front, but really no difference. Once you're rolling, there's really not a big difference with this. The main key to these wheels is going to be on the track as far as 0 to 60, quarter mile, and lap times. And that's what we're gonna test next with these, along with towing. Watch the rest of the video because it's really crazy. It's a learning experience really of how much rain affects and weather affects the range of an electric vehicle. You see there's some pretty big numbers that come out just because of rain or preheating the battery. Preheating the battery takes a lot, especially when you're starting off in the morning with a cold battery. You'll learn things from this video that you can take forward in your trips. And before I take you back to the video, I just want to remind you that Dream Giveaway is still giving away a 2020 Raven Model X Performance, black with white interior, lowered. It's got a LED lighting kit. It's an amazing car, plus $33,000 to help pay for the taxes. Click the link below and enter. It only costs $3 to enter, but I entered with $25 so I can get 40 tickets in there, so you get bonuses. Great cause. All the money raised goes to veterans and children's charities. Perfect timing with just having Memorial Day yesterday. Click the link down below, help support our children and our veterans, and also enter to win a beautiful Model X. As I'm leaving my development, you can see it is a little windy and that's going to affect it as well. I had to reboot the computer. I got the software update, I think .16 last night, and I had no internet connectivity on the screen, so I'm rebooting this to hopefully I can get that. Worst case this doesn't come back on, I can always use my iPad for navigation, but it's starting to come on right now. Not a great start. While this is booting up, I'm going to explain this right away. There's a code on the dash here, the tire pressure sensor monitoring system. I bought Model 3 tire pressure sensors for these new wheels before I knew that they were the new ones for the Model Y are actually Bluetooth. So I found out the day, like an hour before I went to go get the tires put on. For the video's sake and for the stuff I had planned, I put the Model 3 ones in there just to see if it would work. 20 miles later, that fault popped up. It's going to stay up until I do change them, but these were only $30 a piece versus the new ones, Bluetooth, are $75 a piece through Tesla. So If I keep these wheels, obviously I'll change them out, but for the time being and all these tests, I'm definitely just gonna have that up there. So not a huge deal, but the other huge deal is I still don't have internet connectivity, and I shouldn't have done the update right before a trip. I should know better than that. At least the autopilot still works. The little thing popped up a little bit ago for autopilot to engage. So luckily I've been on this trip, so I know where the superchargers are. But we're gonna put in the first supercharger we're going to is Mooresville. It's gonna be Mooresville. It's only 91 miles away. And let's see what happens with no internet connectivity. Finding superchargers in your area.
500 feet. Turn left onto Leave Lane.
Okay, so it looks like it pulled up the data, even though we have no data information. So we probably don't have traffic, but it does, yeah, route with no traffic data. So it does show that we'll be there 18% battery, starting at 69%. I didn't fully charge it because I know I'm going to have to stop here. So what's the point of getting there with 30 or 40% battery when it's just going to charge slower? So we'll be there with 18 to whatever percentage. I'm going to be driving 5 miles over the speed limit the whole time. That's what I did on the trip up there. So it's comparing apples to apples, although this time there's a little bit worse weather. Let's get going.
Now turn left onto Leave Lane.
It is pretty windy out there. There's a pretty big crosswind I've noticed. Probably can't see it in the trees. Probably can't see it in the trees because we're moving so fast, but there is a big crosswind, which I think is going to affect the range. But we're going to see. When I go to the trip computer, now it's saying we'll get there with 11%. I don't have any range anxiety in any Tesla. I've never really had anything. Since it says 11%, we'll probably get there with right around 8% with the wind, maybe 7%. So, which that's good because that just means we're going to charge faster when we get there, and we're just going to charge enough to get to Charleston, West Virginia. That's the next supercharger that we go to. Down here I've got, well, I'm listening to Joe Rogan, but also I've got Waze going on the iPad. Everything's streaming through this through the speakers. This is an LTE iPad, but I don't have any data to that, so I am tethering from my phone to this. And I left the house with 100%, and we're still at 100%. Granted, we're not too far into the drive, but I'll let you know how that goes as well. So I got here at Mooresville with 11% battery. Let's see what the watt hour per mile is. Now we got here originally the first time with 342. Now we're at 374. We did go through some rain and there was a high wind, so I'm not concerned at all. I'm just wondering what it's going to be for the rest of the trip. Hopefully it does stay nice and clear. We're going to skip Beckley and go to Charleston, West Virginia. It's 100 miles away and we use some power, so I think we're going to charge to maybe, I don't know, maybe 150 miles, 160 miles. This has been running the whole time, tethered to my phone. So I have Waze going, which actually told me where a couple of cops were. I've had the Joe Rogan podcast streaming as well. I left the house with 100%. We are down to 84% right now. Now that we're stopped here, I am going to turn that off. I do have some Clorox wipes again to wipe down the superchargers. So this is a really old supercharger here in Mooresville. A little chilly. The weather is a little different. As you can see back there, it is going to be cloudy and nasty probably the rest of the way until we get into Ohio, and then it's just going to look cloudy. But it is windy. I don't know if you can hear the wind right now. I think that is what has affected some of the watt hour per mile. That hopefully the wind dies down once we get past the mountains into Ohio, because that's nice and smooth. Those wheels are a lot lighter, but really the efficiency comes in not the weight of the tires. It's more due to the size and the shape of the spokes and how it redirects the wind. As you can see here, these wheels do have
quite sharp edges here, and it's not really very efficient as far as that goes because it is hitting the wind. It's like blades. If they were curved a little bit more, and that would affect range a little bit better. So really what the light wheels will do, my 0 to 60 time will go way down, and I'm going to test that. I'm going to test this on the track as far as lap times and 0 to 60 speed, quarter mile, and all that kind of stuff. Stay tuned for that. So subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed, and also hit the notification bell because you don't want to miss those. Those are going to be great videos. I'm hoping I can get the fastest Model Y. I know there's not too many of them out there, so it's easier to do. Should be pretty fun, and I can't wait to do that. 18% Charleston. Now it's going through the mountains, so I think I'm going to charge just a little bit longer. 345. So a little bit higher than before. We were at 316 last time we were here, but again, we're having a lot of wind out there and it has been raining quite a bit. So I'm going to get out, plug in, and we'll route for the next trip. All right, we overcharged here because I was talking with a subscriber, which is awesome, and it looks like we'll get there with plenty of juice. Alright, so this is definitely going to screw up the efficiency. Water is a killer for efficiency. It's alright, I'll show you what it's going to be. All we can do is do the run and see what happens. Alright, so I've made it to the Cambridge supercharger. It had finally stopped raining about 15 minutes ago. At one point it was pouring down rain. I had to go under the speed limit. I had to go 5 under the speed limit because I couldn't really see too well. So going 5 under the speed limit, we are at 363 watt hours per mile, when last time at this point we were at 327. So yes, this is an accumulation of all that, and so we've been higher and higher, and now we just went even higher than what we were before with even going slower. So rain has just killed this entire trip up here as far as kilowatts and the watt hour per mile. So unfortunately this test is not going to be that great, I don't think. Looks like it's clear skies all the rest of the way. It's not what I expected. Now these wheels have not done a whole lot as far as range, I don't think. I think they have actually not done any better or any worse. I think it's just the weather conditions, the wind and the rain that have made it worse. We'll find that out tomorrow, or no, actually Friday. I'm gonna stay out there for a day. We'll find that out Friday when I drive home to see if it's any different. Hopefully we can stay ahead of that rain. All right, so I'm here at my brother's house. I've already had dinner. Last time when I got here, we were at 329. Of course, because of this rain, it's horrendous. We were at 354. So, I mean, it's not too bad, but you know, it's quite a bit higher than before. I thought it'd be a little bit different, but that rain there was some really strong rain. I had to go even slower and we used a lot more power. The rain really does affect your efficiency in an electric car or a gas car. It doesn't matter. It's just going to affect, it's just rolling resistance. So hopefully Friday when we leave, it's supposed to be clear from here, I think past Charleston. I think it'll probably still rain at home in Charlotte. But hopefully we can get a good average of everything all together. And again, I'll have to do another test. We'll do another range test some other time. Maybe driving out to the racetrack, we'll do a range test from the house and see what watt hour per mile we can get from there. But this was a good comparison between the two. All right, good morning. It's Friday. I stayed up here a day. Got my daughter. We're bringing Ashley home. Of course, it is raining again. It was nice yesterday. We probably should have left yesterday, but it was raining the rest of the way down. Looks like it's going to clear up until the first supercharger. Well, this is actually the first supercharger. We left my brother's house and we went to Strongsville, where it's only 20 miles away. That way we can warm up the battery, put some juice in it. Hopefully it clears up, and hopefully it doesn't keep raining through the mountains, because like you saw before, the rain killed the watt hours per mile. But this is going to be more of a real world driving in bad weather, I guess, instead of just an efficiency run. So we're not too far into our trip. We're only on 25 miles. You see the watt hour per mile is super high. But we left my brother's house to go to the supercharger, and it started preconditioning right away. So that whole 20 miles to the supercharger is preconditioning the battery, warming it up so it can take the charge faster. And that kills a lot of power. So if you're looking for efficiency, and if we're doing this again on an efficiency run, I would turn off preconditioning. It just takes longer to charge, but that's why that's high, and hopefully that doesn't affect us too long on this trip. It is only 20 miles and we have 500 to go, or 480 miles to go. So of course it was raining quite a bit. We're at the supercharger in Cambridge, Ohio, 368 watt hours per mile. Last time we were here it was 342. So rain, of course, again makes it worse. Although from the last supercharger, because we stopped earlier, from the last supercharger is 346 watt hours per mile. So pretty much on par from what we did before. And you know, last time it wasn't raining, but there was a little bit of, it was colder and we were heating up the battery a little bit. For all that rain, it was some pretty heavy rain for a while. I couldn't really see too well. There was a lot of mist in the air and everything. So pretty good. It's doing pretty good for the conditions. So we're getting a good charge here. We got 15 minutes to charge, and then we'll be going to Charleston, West Virginia, and then one more stop in Mooresville on the way home. But yeah, I'm already sick of driving. I'm starting to get a little headache. I might do a little bit more than 5 miles over the speed limit because I want to get home. You okay with that?
I drove like 15 over.
You drive 15?
I'm kidding!
I know she doesn't. You're afraid to drive fast. I should take you to the racetrack.
I literally will go like 5 under on the racetrack.
There's
not even a
no
speed
speed
limit.
limit. To the Charleston supercharger, the last trip, 360 watt hours per mile. So we were a little bit higher from the last one, so those have obviously those are affected from, this is just a continuation of the drive back from Ohio, but from the last charge we're at 351. From Cambridge supercharger to this supercharger, clear skies, looks like calm weather, is overcast a little bit, you could probably see some of the clouds up there. But smooth sailing the whole way, 5 miles over the speed limit, and I think we're pretty much the same as what we would have been on the way back. I wish I would have, on the last time, I wish I would have done from each supercharger to supercharger what it was. So I think the efficiency is the same now that we finally got a trip where it was good weather. Now it's going to be raining a little bit as we go home the rest of the way, so that's really the only supercharger that we can compare to the last video. Charge up here, we got 20 minutes to charge here, and then we get to Mooresville and then get home finally. I'm tired, I want to be home. All right, just made it home. Actually, 10 miles left on the battery. There was a little issue at the Mooresville supercharger. There was barely any of them working, but we were able to get out of there. Just enough energy to get home. Rained the entire time except for that little stretch. Really sucks. I did go faster because I didn't care anymore about the test because of the rain. Obviously, the rain's making this trip use way more power. From my brother's house here, 508 miles, 350 watt hours per mile. So that is us ramping up really high in the first 20 miles, preheating the battery and everything. The only good stretch was in the middle. Obviously, rain affects a gas car and an electric car. So, but you can't go wrong with you can't go wrong. I love this Model Y. It's so easy to travel in. I have 4,400 miles on the car. Now, obviously, 2,000 of that is going back and forth to Ohio. This last run was over 1,000 miles because I did some traveling back around. I just supercharged. Now, thanks to you guys, I don't have to pay for supercharging, but I'll have the totals in here. I've had the totals at each charger. I didn't start the drive with a full charge either, so it's just really just enough to get to the first supercharger here. This is not the way that I wanted the test to go, but we've had some weird weather. In fact, on the way home, Karen was she called me and said that there was a tornado warning. We missed that. We just got rain, and it was just a weird weekend, or it's during the week, but weird time to be traveling with all this rain. But this is kind of a real world test. You know, you're going to run into rain. You can't always predict the weather. In fact, weathermen never can predict the weather. They seem to always be wrong, because the week before, this was supposed to be a great weekend, and it was not. Or a great week. So thanks for watching. Stay awesome, stay positive, stay safe out there, and I'll catch you on the next one. We're going to do some more testing.